episode 5 of BBall Pro Insider. This is the Candice Wiggins YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Okay, so yesterday was fun filled as expected. There is a lot to cover today. Today's episode is called The Great Wide Open, all about winning, because that is the story. Yesterday, with all the games happening, it's just so wide open now. What's really interesting to see from yesterday as well is that even though there were a lot of teams that had huge wins, it didn't really change much in the standings. But I think just in terms of momentum and building as the season progresses, yesterday was a very, very big day. So let's cover all those games and let's just talk about what today brings us. Just a reminder of what this show is. We provide daily commentary for the playoff race for both the Eastern and Western Conference bubble teams. Bubble teams are any teams that are in the 5 through 8 seed or the 9 through 12 seed that are just fighting their way for position for the playoffs. We are a predictions program. We do not claim to know everything. So the way that we make these predictions is we take the past, in this case yesterday, along with the present today, in order to get a full scope for the future for tomorrow. So with that being said, let's get right to it, the Great Wide Open. All right, so we're going to start with the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, you guys know I'm crazy about these Grizzlies. They moved up to number 4 with a huge, huge win over the Spurs, 133 to 102. This is all I can say about the Grizzlies because now they're the 4th seed and they're goodbye Grizzlies to this program. But what a team! Memphis Grizzlies, what a team. 9 out of 10 of the players who's played were in double figures. That's all that needs to be said. Okay, we're moving on now to the Hornets. My Hornets, no, our Hornets, this program's Hornets, won in overtime against the Heat. Without Terry Rozier, injuries, the Hornets won. They won so huge. The only person that I can really say and mention because it's just phenomenal was Malik Monk. 36 points off the bench, clutch 3 at the end of the game to tie it up, to take it into overtime. And the Heat, man, the Heat are so great. I know they're struggling this year, but this season, but that doesn't mean that the Heat aren't the Heat. So the Hornets were tested last night and passed the test. Very good job, Hornets. Okay, next was the Bulls. The Bulls won big yesterday, and they beat the Knicks 110 to 102. But something to note of this game that was really interesting is that they're playing again on Wednesday, tomorrow. They're going to play again. So this is actually going to be, these are kind of my favorite kind of games that happen in the schedule. When you play a team back to back, home and away, it just really feels like a playoff game. And this is obviously two teams that are fighting for a playoff position, so they probably wouldn't see each other in the first round of the playoffs or anything. But you can still, where they're at in their season, they could really use this to test to see if new strategies would work against the same team. So we're going to keep an eye on this Knicks-Bulls rivalry, and I believe that the Bulls, like I predicted yesterday, played a full, complete game. I think this game that comes up is going to be an extension of those last 48 minutes, so we'll see what that story tells us. Okay, next, the Rockets. Rockets won huge. They won big, 136 to 106 against the Thunder. It was not really close ever the whole game, and I really like this Rockets team, and I like that they're really focusing on their chemistry and camaraderie. I think this is just, you could see it, it's apparent, and they're going to be a dangerous team in the future because of a certain Christian Wood who is playing outstanding and great leadership and veteran leadership on that team. So Rockets definitely moving up. All right, next big win yesterday was the Kings. And the Kings were able to beat the Pelicans 118 to 109. It was a tough game. The Kings had to play all the way to the very end, and the Pelicans, again, very young, but just so much talent. You feel like they're just this big bag of talent that is just waiting for it to all, the abracadabra moment to happen. And the Kings are very, very disciplined, tough, very tough team. And I think they're going to surprise a lot of people as they move up, and now they're in 11th spot. And of course, the Suns win. Suns beat the Mavericks at the very end. Devin Booker's back. Chris Paul. I think that their chemistry they're building is really going to be great. And so they got the win, 109 to 108 to the Mavericks. And then also the Cavs won. That was a big game. They won 100 to the Timberwolves 98. Something to note that the Suns and the Cavs both have stayed at their seed. So the Suns stay at 6 and the Cavs remain at 7. So a lot of movement, a lot of things, but at the same time, a lot of things stayed the same. I just think that you're starting to see a breakthrough for a lot of teams. They're starting to realize what they have. So that's for last night's games. All right, let's talk about today's games. There are 4 games today that are relevant to this program, starting with the Raptors and Magic. Toronto's in 11th place, and the Magic are in 12th place. This really feels like a huge statement game. This might even be the direction where each team goes this season, and they're going to piggyback off of each other to achieve that goal. And this is probably going to be the game that has the most invested in terms of survival for this season. Next up, Grizzlies Pacers, and we're not here to talk about the Grizzlies because they're moved up to 4, but Indiana is in 5th place now. So we will see how Indiana stacks up against this Grizzlies team that is very, very good. No, they're great. The Grizzlies are great. We will see how the Pacers play against a great team. Okay, then we have the Trailblazers and the Wizards. And the Trailblazers, Portland is at 8. They took a huge beating from the Bucks. And all I will say about the Bucks game last night, Portland Trailblazers Bucks game, is that the Bucks do not like to lose. I think no team does. No team likes to lose, but the Bucks really do not like to lose. So they really took that out on the Trailblazers yesterday, and as they're supposed to do as a top team in the East. So the Trailblazers get a chance for redemption tonight. They're playing the last place Washington team. They're in 8th place right now in the West. Portland, they can really set their future and set their table if they take care of business tonight. And then finally, the Celtics Warriors. The Celtics are in 4th place in the East. Golden State's at 7. It's hard to really believe and understand the magnitude of Golden State because they're not the Golden State of yesterday, but the Golden State of today still has remnants of yesterday, and they're always going to be a contender. They have the formula for success. So I believe this is going to be a huge measurement for where Golden State is at the moment. And I think that people shouldn't count out Golden State. I think Golden State's still here, and they're standing strong, and they're making a fight, making a legitimate fight for this playoff race. All right, today is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. Thank you for watching today's episode of BBall Pro Insider. Check back, and I will see you tomorrow.